Hi guys, quickly let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. Yep. Okay, thank you Bhavna. Fine, quickly join in so that we can just start with this. Right, so the NMAT paper is around the corner. What we have to do is, hi Rohit, what we have to do is plenty of practice, plenty of doubts, plenty of revision, and what is going to happen is we are going to get through it, right? So this is one paper where the paper is not very difficult, but the practice is important to know the pattern, to know different kind of questions that can come across in your paper. That part is the most important part, right? If you take care of that, things would become easy, right? Okay, so today what we have is parajumble. So can anyone tell me what exactly is a parajumble? This way. So when we talk about a parajumble, what do we expect? We expect that there are different sentences given across, right? So we've got A sentence, B sentence, C sentence, and D sentence, right? But the best part in NMAT is they also give you 1 and 2. What does that mean? It means it is telling us that there are 2 more sentences. These sentences are the fixed parts. This is the first part, first sentence, and this is the last sentence. Fine. Whatever is going to happen between these two. Okay? And we have got A, B, and C, D. Right? This is given across to us. Then what happens? They also provide us with the options. So we have got maybe first they have given across as A, B, C, D. Second is B, C, D, A. Third is C, D, B, A. C, D, A, B maybe. And fourth is maybe D, A, B, C. Something like this. Now when we go across with these kind of questions, the most important part is we must always look into the groups, right? Checking the group is one of the most important part for you. Why? Because once you catch hold of them, only then it would be easier for you to eliminate the options, right? So when we have got A, B, if A, B comes together, what happens? If A and B, they are together, I would keep it. If I see that A after A, I cannot have B, there is no way that I can have B after A, then what happens? Then I know that for sure A, B, C, D is not a valid option. I can actually eliminate it. Not only that, wherever we find A, B, I can actually remove it. Fine. So I believe everyone has understood how to go about and eliminate. So that is one way. What do? I group and eliminate. Right? Now another thing is that when they have already given us first sentence and the last sentence, which means whatever the next sentence is, maybe like one, the sentence coming after that, or two, the sentence coming before that, right? We can also pair them up and we can see whether they are working or not. Because if they are working, then I can have it and I can again eliminate on those bases. Or else what we can do is we can simply find out the answer, right? We can simply take up that if it is not there, then I can eliminate it, right? Okay. Other than this, parajumble, what is more important? Once the first sentence is given across, I have to start working on how would I go across, which can be the next sentence to it. So that is going to help us a lot. Fine. And then go on with the next part. So that flow is quite important when we go across with these kind of questions, right? So are we ready? Of course, one thing more, the transitions are very important. You know what are transitions? Anyone who can tell me what is a transition? Anyone out here who knows what exactly we talk about when we talk about transitions? No? So when I talk in terms of transition, there is A written and then there is B written and then there is C written and A is positive, B is positive and C, this C part has a word something like on the other hand, right? Or it has something like however, right? So if I have these kind of words out here, what would I expect out there? Yes, Siddhant, very good. Hi, Nawab. Okay, so Bhavna, basically when we talk in terms of this kind of a thought process, it actually talks about what is the flow. It works on the flow of the paragraph, right? The sentences. So when I'm looking at these things, so it would tell me what can I expect. So if these two words, these two sentences are positive, and then I have C, tell me how would it be? It would be positive or negative. If it starts with on the other hand, or it starts with however. What would it be? It will be negative, right? Right? Because what is it doing? B is positive and then there is C. C has a transition word which is actually talking in terms of a contrast. And that contrast comes across and it tells me that this is going to be a negative sentence. Fine. So keeping all these things in mind, fine, we are going to hit across and we are going to start with the questions, right? Okay, let's move ahead. Coming across to the first sentence, and of course when I have made these questions, the questions have been a bit, I tried to make them based on ideas so that you can catch hold of the ideas, right? So that you can understand how the grouping can be done, and moreover how we can actually do some kind of some cheat out here that can help me get the answers quickly, right? Carry on. The first question. It says the digital revolution has fundamentally transformed how we interact with the world. This is the first sentence, which means this is the fixed part. Okay, so it is introducing the thought process. It is telling us that the digital revolution has fundamentally transformed how we interact with the world. Okay, and then we have got four sentences out here: A, B, C, D, and then the second part, which is again the fixed part, which says it is essential to strike a balance between embracing technology and protecting human values. Okay, now looking at this, can anyone quickly look into this part and tell me which can be a valid thought process? Which is the most important line that I can catch hold of and go about it? Okay, Avi has given the answer, Nawab has given the answer. What about the rest? Very good, Siddhant. B is somewhat an important sentence for us because B has the word however, right? So whatever would happen at the end of the day, however is going to talk about just the opposite of it, right? Keeping that in mind, let us see. The digital revolution has fundamentally transformed how we interact with the world. Okay, so it is talking about a general sentence that it has transformed something. Business have moved online, offering services and goods with unprecedented convenience. Okay, fine. So this is basically talking in the same thought process. Let's move on. However, it has also brought concerns about privacy, misinformation, and digital addiction. Okay, fine. So this is basically talking about something which is negative, right? Let's come across. Social media platforms now shape public opinion, influence political outcomes. So if I see, the first one was actually talking about something, a generic view of what has happened, how the digital revolution. So it is called talking about the digital revolution. Okay. And in this, we are having the A part is talking about the changes. C part is talking about the changes. If you see, social media platforms now shape public opinion and influence political outcomes. Okay. Next, so this part is again very important. We'll talk about this. Education, healthcare, and even governance have adapted to online ecosystem. So this D part is also talking about the changes in the digital revolution. Fine. But if you look at this part, when we talk in terms of however part and the C part, the C part is saying social media platforms now shape public opinion and influence political outcomes. Now, is this going towards a positive thing or is it going towards a negative thing? Tell me. Which one is it? This one is giving me, it is actually telling me that it is influencing things, right? It is not actually telling me that it is negative, but then again it is telling me the effect that it has, right? So this part is an effect part, C part. If I want to group C, what would I group C with? What is the pair that it would catch hold of? If I have C, what is the next best thing that can come after C? Because if you look at it, A and D, if I look at it, it is not giving me a very strong answer. Why is that? The digital revolution has fundamentally transformed how we interact with the world. Then we say, I can start with D, education, healthcare, and even governance have adapted to online ecosystem. Okay, fine. Then again, business have moved online, offering services and goods with unprecedented convenience, right? So there is no transition word out here. There is nothing like also, moreover, furthermore, or something like that. When I don't have it out here, which means that I cannot really come across with whether I should talk about education, healthcare, and governance first, or should I talk about business. I hope you have understood, right? So, keeping that in mind, I have to work on something else, and I can have C and B. If I have C and B, which one would come first? Of course, either way it is going to be CB or it is going to be BC. Which one is it? Siddhant, BC, I don't think so would be the right pair, because what would it be? Not the B. C would come first. See, what is happening? Social media platforms now shape public opinion and influence political outcomes, right? This is just a statement that is telling us. However, it has also brought concerns about privacy, misinformation, and digital addiction. But this is completely negative. So what is going to happen is, either way it is going to start with A or D after 1, okay? And then I would have C coming across, telling us about this thing, social media platforms now shape public opinion. And then we are going to talk about B part, which says that it has brought concerns, right? If I have B out here, Then I come across it is essential to strike a balance between embracing technology and protecting human values. So the second line is actually giving us the conclusion of both the things, how it has to be in balance. So my answer out here is the pair CB is the most important. Now where do I have CB? If I see, there are only two places. One is either way CB would come in the beginning or it would come in the end. Check it, tell me. So by doing so, what you have done is you have actually removed three options. Three options are gone by. Now we have got A and E left. Out of A and E, what would be your answer? Out of A and E, which one would be the preferred answer? Yes, right, Siddhant. The right answer has to be A part. Fine. So it is DACB. Now there is another way of going about, but I don't know whether it is going to work or not, because we can say education, healthcare and governance. So this is basically talking in a bigger sense, a broader sense. While when I say businesses, it is talking about a specific sense. So D can come first and then A can come, right? That is also a pairing way you can go about. So there are so many ways of going about and finding the right pair. Okay. So this is your first question. Just let me know if you have understood and we can move on. Fine. Anyone who has a question, do ask me. Okay. Move ahead. Right. This is the next question. Try it out. Can I catch hold of the pair? Let's see. Climate change remains one of the most urgent challenges of our time. Right? So this is basically, we know that we are going to talk in terms of climate change. Okay? And it is also the urgent challenges. Now look at all the options that are given across to us. A part says this has led to a loss of biodiversity and rising sea levels. What? Challenges? No. So which means A cannot be my first sentence. Okay? Is there any A? No. It is not starting with A, so therefore no problem with that. B. The planet's average temperature continues to rise, causing unpredictable weather patterns. What is this B doing? B is actually telling us the challenge. So which means I can actually have B out there. Let's try something else. We have got 3 with B, then there is D and C. Okay. The planet's average, that is done. C part, despite clear evidence, global response remains fragmented and slow. Okay. Now, clear evidence of what? We don't know, right? If I have C and B, of course, B has to be before C, right? Not before, not C coming before B, right? Because that is on the same level. Next one, D part, it says natural disasters like wildfires and floods are becoming more frequent, which is actually an example. So this should come across after something else. What is happening? What are the different things happening, right? Without coordinated global action. Okay. Having this, can anyone quickly tell me which was one sentence that could have helped you to come across with the thought process? Because reading this, you can easily make it out. If I don't go like this, which means after one, what would come? Forget about that. Think of what should come before 2 and you would get your answer. Try to do it. You cannot start it with C. No, not possible. Think of it, guys. If I start with C, just think of it. Climate change Okay, so let's have climate change. What all are actually talking about this climate change? Uh, A is talking about the effect. Okay, so I'll have it effect climate change. B is talking about climate change. Okay, despite clear evidence, global response remains fragmented and slow. This is basically coming much later. Natural disasters like wildfires and floods are becoming more frequent, which is again a challenge. Okay, so that is D. I'll take B and D together. Okay, then C is despite clear evidence. What was left? B, D, A. This has led to loss of biodiversity. So that is your effect. And C is talking about a very different thing altogether, right? It is not talking about climate change. It is talking about the response, global response out there, right? Now think of it. Tell me, how do I go about? Okay, Smriti has given the answer. Rishabh has given the answer. Who else has given? Right. Option C. Option C. Yes. Very good. Siddhant, Avi, Rishabh, Khushi. Okay. Rishabh, good. Smriti, Bhavna, and Siddhant. Pretty good. So you have given your answers. Pretty good. Shreya has also given the same answer. Let's see whether it is right or wrong. If you look at it carefully, despite clear evidence, global response remains fragmented and slow. This is telling us the problem out there, right? And look at the second part. Look at this one. Without coordinated global action, the consequences may be irreversible. Which clearly states the rest of them were actually talking about the problems or the challenges. C part was talking about the global response and the problem with the global response. And second, the line 2 is actually telling us what would be the outcome if this thing is not taken care of. So therefore C and 2, they have to be there. How many options are there with C? So there is only one, that is the C part itself. And therefore your answer is C. Tell me guys, parajumble, is it doable or not? Good enough? Okay, fine. Now let's have another sentence. Let's have the next question. Let's see how we go about. How do we fare in that? Tell me something. The whole week, what have you been doing? Have you studied anything in between or not? Let's before going across. Let's have a pep talk. What all did we do? Have you practiced English? So we did fill in the blanks, we did vocabulary, right? What did you see like when we did the fillers and everything? So throughout the week, did you do any practice or were you busy somewhere? Okay, fine with it, not a bad deal. Start working on your English from this point itself. Fine. Yeah. Sir, how to improve spoken English? Nawab, you tell me how to improve entrance, how to crack entrances, and I'll tell you how to improve spoken English. That's a bad deal, right? Okay, fine. No, it's not like that. See, whatever you do, always surround yourself with English, okay? When you are very angry, okay? When you are in love, all those, emotions that you have, try to emote in English as well. Because if you can emote in English, because you just see, like, you have watched a movie and you come out and I ask you, like, okay, how was the movie? And you want to impress me with your English. So it would be something like, the movie was good. it's a must watch. It's good. Did I learn English? Did I become a good speaker? No, we did not. Fine. The same thing if it would have been like, और भाई मूवी कैसी है? तो भाई साहब आप तो एकदम हवा में होते, right? You would have been, अरे सर क्या मूवी थी भाई, उसने क्या एक्टिंग की, उसका ये वाला डायलॉग, ये वाला गाना, वो कैसे नाच रही थी, and all that. You would be so many full of words, right? Because you have the right words out there. You have the expressions out there. So English को अपना expression बनाओ. समझ में आया? Reading Aeon, okay, so how to improve? ठीक है. Okay, Shreya, it's just that when you are going across with this kind of a paper like NMAT, we would not necessarily need something as strong as, Aeon, okay? So definitely, लेकिन थोड़ा सा moderate रखना, ठीक है? Keep yourself moderate out there. I didn't have English speaking friends. Okay, never mind, Rishabh. You can always give me a call. Let's be friends. We'll talk in English. Okay? Done with it. Okay, guys. Let's move on to the next question. Enough talking today. Yeah, go on. Let's see what you do. So it says, great leaders are not remembered merely for their power but for their vision. A part, their ability to inspire others often makes the difference between chaos and progress. In turbulent times, people look toward figures who offer direction and stability. Leadership is tested not during comfort but in crisis. History honors those who stood firm during adversity. True legacy is built on courage, clarity, and compassion. Now, just look at it, guys. When you go through this, this is a very this is a very typical question that you can expect in your papers. Why? Because if you look at it, there is not much of transitions, right? Every sentence, every statement stands for its own, right? In such a case, going through it and trying to do this question becomes actually a task. So let's see what you can do. Carry on. Take your time on this. I'll give you the hint out here. If you catch hold of a pair out here, it would become easier for you. Nawab, it would be in English. It starts from option A. A is a starter. Okay, A can actually be a starter, maybe. I don't know. But is it going to give me the answer? I don't think so. Because if you look at it carefully, it can also start with C. Their ability to inspire others often makes the difference between chaos and progress. Okay, this might be a first sentence. Leadership is tested not during comfort but in crisis. Even this can be a first sentence. History honors those who stood firm during adversity. Can be a first sentence. Tell me. So I think so this question is going to be totally based on the kind of pair you can come across with. Just give me a pair. Like there's a pair like that. So it can be BA or it can be AB or it can be CD, something like that, right? Try to catch hold of the pair. Let's see. Are you sure, Khushi, that should be AB? their ability to inspire, this can only happen when people are looking toward figures, right? Not before that, right? They cannot just come out and influence people, inspire people, lest they be looking for it, right? Keep that in mind. Tell me whether it will be AB or BA. Nawab, awesome, very good. The right thought process is it has to be BA. Why? B says, so great leaders are not remembered merely for their power but for their vision. In turbulent times, people look toward figures who offer direction and stability. Their ability to inspire others often makes the difference between chaos and progress. Understood? Fine. So this is the problem statement. A is the outcome, or you can say the solution to it, or how the great leaders can actually inspire them or help this kind of a situation. So BA is the thought process, right? Keeping that in mind, go across and see how you go about with this. Now tell me what should be the right answer. If I have BA, so I have BA out here, I have BA out here, I don't have a BA out here, so C part already goes away. I don't have a BA out here, it goes away. I don't have a BA out here, it goes away. We are left with only two. Tell me what is the answer. So, okay. Okay, so someone has given me the answer. BACD. Nawab has given across BACD. Check it and tell me. Shreya says option B. Khushi says A. Okay, I need more answers out here. Be quick about it. So you are the people who are actually practicing for just NMAT and SNAP, or you are the people who have already given the CAT and now you want to go across with this thing. Tell me something about yourself. Fine, so Khushi had given across A, and the other people have given across B. Everyone is saying BACD, which is A. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So easy it is. Look at this. If I say BA in the first, it says in turbulent times people look toward figures who offer direction and stability. Fine. Go beyond. What is it? Great leaders are not remembered merely for their power but for their vision. Where is it actually talking about some kind of problem out here? Is the first line, which is the fixed line, talking about any kind of problem, any kind of issue? No, it is not. Right? It is not. Fine. So I come back again. Now check it again. Look at it. I have one is BACD, the other is CBAD. Let's try with C. C says leadership is tested not during comfort but in crisis. Okay. Now after that I read in turbulent times. So this turbulent times is actually talking about the crisis, the issue. People look toward figures who offer direction and stability. Okay. Their ability to inspire others often makes the difference between chaos and progress. Can you catch hold of the pair? Yeah. So keeping that in mind, if I see, then where do I reach? This should be B part and not A part. Fine. Quickly look into it. If you have a doubt, ask me, or else we'll move on. Yeah? Everyone has understood? So this is how it is. Guys, you need to understand. The broader thing comes first, okay? And the specific things come after that, or the broader thing comes, or the general thing comes and then we start talking in terms of some kind of example or some kind of issue or some kind of a very specific statement, something like that, right? So we need to work on those grounds. We need to catch hold of those layers, right? Let's do this again because somebody is asking. Okay, Nawab, I'll just try to do this again for you. The great leaders are not remembered merely for their power but for their vision. When I read the options, I was clear out here that I would definitely have BA as a pair. Looking at the options, I had two options out here, which was BACD and CBAD. When I looked at it, I could have started with B, but the thing was C part is more of a statement, and after that B part is an example or an elucidation of the same, where it says that in turbulent times. What is that turbulent time? So this is basically the crisis we are talking about. What do people do? They actually look forward to their figures and they try to look for direction and stability. So it is their ability to inspire others often marks the difference between chaos and progress. So it can be chaos as well as progress depending upon how these great leaders help you, right? Fine. So it was easy that C has to be the first one, then it would come across as B and then A, right? I hope, Nawab, you have understood, and the rest of you as well. Fine. Let's move on. Let's do the next question. Here we go about. Reading fiction improves more than just vocabulary. What is a fiction? What is a fiction? Okay, reading fiction improves more than just vocabulary. It builds emotional intelligence by allowing readers to live different lives vicariously. Fine. Now out here it is talking about something to do with emotional intelligence. Before this it was talking about fiction improve. Fine. Okay. So, keeping that in mind, let's move ahead. What else do we have? It enhances empathy, making one more attuned to others' feelings. It enhances empathy, making one more attuned to others' feelings. Okay, fine. Again, it is talking about empathy, which is something to do with emotional intelligence, right? Scientific studies have confirmed changes in brain connectivity after sustained reading. So this one is talking about studies. This kind of mental engagement is difficult to achieve through passive screen time. Hence, fiction should not be underestimated as a tool for cognitive development. Look into it, tell me. Which, as per you, see, the best part about these questions is, you can think of one as your fixed part and start thinking on those terms, or you can also catch hold of the last line, and then start thinking of that. So if hence fiction should not be underestimated as a tool for cognitive development, what can be the sentence that can come before that? Moreover, it is talking about something to do with, reading fiction improves. Fine. Then there is a C part which is talking about studies. Where can study come after? This kind of pairing up, grouping up can help you a lot. Start thinking on that. Okay, Shreya, you have directly given me the answer. I don't need an answer. Try to build the group. I need the group. Tell me the group. Like, if I tell you This is when you would read it carefully, you would actually see, hence fiction should not be underestimated as a tool for cognitive development. This can only come after D part, right? This kind of mental engagement is difficult to achieve through passive screen time. So it was actually talking about everything different from whatever was being talked about, and therefore D and 2, this 2 has to be there. So D, so we have got so many D's out here, and E part is not ending with D, that clearly goes away. So now that I have a D part, can you build something before this? Can we have C, B or A? Which one can have? Which one would you say? You thought like that, Rishabh? Very good. So what's your answer? You came across with B. Okay, someone else? D is last, yes, I'll take that. Palak says 1C, D2, okay. CD is a pair, is it? Is CD a pair? Then B or A. Okay, fine. Let's start with this. So as you can see, this question, it's quite easy to read it, right? But it is very difficult to pair it, right? Fine, but then again, this kind of mental engagement is difficult to achieve through passive screen time. So mental engagement, what is it actually talking about? Where is it actually talking about? Can C come before D? Can C come before D? Very good. PSG, you are going on the right track. Try to do that. See, if I talk about this, emotional intelligence is there, then it is enhancing the empathy, right? So A, B, they are almost maybe talking about the same thing. It builds emotional intelligence by allowing readers to live different lives vicariously. Then it says scientific studies have confirmed changes in brain connectivity after sustained reading. It enhances empathy, making one more attuned to others' feelings. What do you say? A, B, C. Try to pair it. Forget about D now. Just pair A, B, C. Which one would be the first one? Which one would be the first one? Okay, let's see. Reading fiction improves more than just vocabulary. Scientific studies have confirmed changes in brain connectivity after sustained reading. Okay, can this come? If C comes out there, then I can have it builds emotional intelligence by allowing readers to live different lives vicariously. It enhances empathy, making one more attuned to others' feelings. Is it working? Or we can also have, we can start with A. It builds emotional intelligence by allowing readers to live different lives vicariously. Then it says, scientific studies have confirmed changes in brain connectivity after sustained reading. So it says B part. And then it says it enhances empathy. Fine. Making one more attuned to others' feelings. So we have got two options now. Either way we can have C, A, B, okay? Or we can have ABC. Fine. So ABC. Do we have ABC? Yes, we do have ABC. CAB. Do we have a CAB? Yeah, we do have a CAB. And we also have an ACB and BCA. Check them out. C is broader, okay. Scientific studies have confirmed change in brain conductivity after. Yes, definitely it is actually a broader sentence. So if you can look at it carefully, it simply says reading fiction improves more than just vocabulary. C part says scientific studies have confirmed changes in brain connectivity. So what is more? The brain connectivity, right? What happens? It builds emotional intelligence. What kind of emotional intelligence? It enhances empathy. So which means CAB has to be the right pair. And after that we have got D. Which one do we have? CABD. That is B. Farhan, you were good. Shreya, you were correct. Okay, who else was? Fine, Rishabh, you got a bit dilly-dally out there. You got confused between the two. Fine. Rest of you, please look into it. Tell me, have you understood the question? Yeah, it was a tad bit more confusing, right? That was what it was. Yes, Siddhan. I'll just try to do this again. The first one was the opening statement that said reading fiction improves more than just vocabulary. So it is giving us a statement. It says it improves something, right? Not talking about emotional intelligence or empathy or anything of that sort, right? What is emotional intelligence and what is empathy? So empathy is a kind of emotional intelligence, and emotional intelligence is something to do with what? It is something to do with brain connectivity. Yeah? So which one would come first? Which one is a broader sense out here? C is a broader sense, C comes before. Then comes it builds emotional intelligence, okay? Then it comes, it enhances empathy, right? So so we have got C, A, B, and then D was, we already knew that D had to be the last one, right? So where do we sit? We sit at B, which is CABD. Is it working? Okay, good. See, I'm coming across with more questions out here. Because what I really want is, when we go out there to give the paper, it should be something like, I do not want you to go across and just go across with flukes. I don't want you people to sit out there and you're just doing inky, pinky, ponky, which one is the right answer. Fine. Because there is not going to, it's not going to help you at all, right? So these kind of questions, and of course it is very different from CAT, because in CAT you have to write the answers. Out here you would have the options. Out here you have two other options given across out here, which is like, which is actually going to help you. Fine, I could have given you easier questions because I know, but I know that you people have more potential than that, right? So first thing first, I want to work on your thought process, how to create, how to grow that thought process, and then I would come across and give you more, I would mix the questions, and then you'll see that how you can do the different patterns, right? Fine. So all you have to do is, just be regular to the class. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Money, I mean to say, just go on. Yeah. The first one says money is not the only measure of success. Fine. A part says success is also about inner contentment and a life of purpose. Okay. B says while wealth offers comfort, it cannot guarantee happiness. C says countless wealthy individuals have struggled with loneliness and dissatisfaction. D part, society often equates luxury with success, which is limited view. Ah, okay, fine. I would suggest, I'll just give you a hint. Okay, in this question, instead of finding the group first, try to catch hold of what can be the next sentence after one. I think so that would help you. Another point, guys. If you try to find out the previous sentence, like the sentence, the penultimate sentence, okay, the one coming before two, maybe you'll get the answer. Try that. Okay, Atulit has given his answer. Bhavna has given her answer. Who else? I would be needing the the relations as well. Fine. So Atulit, if you can come across with your right thought process, what can be so. So just share it with us. No? You people finding it difficult? D should be opening sentence. Okay? Should D be the opening sentence? Let's see. Money is not the only measure of success. Success is also about inner contentment and a life of purpose. Okay, A could have been the first sentence, but they do not have the option out there. So A is ruled out. While wealth offers comfort, it cannot guarantee happiness. Yeah, but then again, there are so many sentences which are talking about wealth. So I should be taking them first. Let's see. Countless wealthy individuals have struggled with loneliness and dissatisfaction. Fine. So this might be somewhere, catching hold of this. C and B, somehow they are catching hold of a kind of pair, right? Next part. Society often equates luxury with success, which is limited view. Okay. Now when I say D part, society often equates luxury. Money is not the only measure of success, and then I say society often equates luxury with success. So this is basically what is happening in the society. So it is also a statement, it is telling us the situation. This was the statement, this was the situation, and then all these are just, some kind of judgment that are adding up. Success is also about inner contentment and everything. Society often equates luxury with success, which is a limited view, has to be the one that has to come after one. So, yes, it has to be starting with D. If it is starting with D, I cannot have D and E, I cannot have A, I have B and C. Give me the right answer. Okay. Okay, Jeel has said C. Farhan has said C. Atulit, it is okay. Atulit has given the reason. Shreya has given the answer. Farhan has given the answer. Awesome going. Fine. Let's see. So I already know that it is ending with what? The last sentence out here. It has to be A, right? Success is also about inner contentment and life of purpose. This is what it is? No? Forget about that. We'll just talk about the D part. It starts with D, and I said there is a relation between what? B and C. So B and C, maybe C would come before B, or B would come before C. While wealth offers comfort, it cannot guarantee happiness. Countless wealthy individuals have struggled with loneliness and dissatisfaction. Hardly matters. B and C, they are interchangeable, right? I can actually use any of them before, right? Is it so? Yeah, definitely. So after that, of course, success is also about inner contentment and a life of purpose. So it is giving us a final thought process about success, and then the second part is actually the second statement is actually filling in or giving us the complete conclusion that true success. So success is also about something, and then it says true success lies in balance, fulfillment, and meaningful relationship, which means it does not have anything to do with money, wealth, or something like that, right? Or luxury. So definitely A has to come before 2, which is only possible in C, and my answer is C part, D, C, B, A. Check it out. Right. So as you can see that these questions are not actually difficult, right? These questions can actually be done. The only thing is that we need to have a good thought process to process them, right? Okay. So before we go for the day, I just want you to tell me 2 things. The first thing, what do you want to study tomorrow, right? And secondly, that I would like to have a small, just a feedback to know, are you getting to know everything? You want me to add something up to help you, or whatever it is, just let me know about it. Okay, Shreya. So you're talking about main idea in the RC part, the reading comprehension part. Okay, you wanna do RC? Fine. RC, done deal. Tomorrow we are gonna do RC. Okay. Odd one out. Fine. Okay. Pretty cool. Fine. So we'll start with RC tomorrow. We'll talk about RC. Fine. And this is just a booster thing. Fine. I'm just giving you some doses of how we are going to practice about. Fine. And we are going to catch up everything, all the concepts when we do it finally, right? Yes, Sanya, I used to. Okay. Right, guys. So, thanks for the thing, and I hope you are like it's helping you. My classes are helping you. I hope that you are understanding everything that is being taught to you. So we meet tomorrow, and we are going to work upon the RC part. Right? Thank you for the day. Take care. Tomorrow the same time, guys. Tomorrow the same time. Fine, 3 to 4, we have a date. Thank you Farhan, thank you PSG, thank you Bhavna, thank you Atulit, thank you Shreya.